Good afternoon, everyone. The hour of 2 p.m. having come and gone, the House Economic Opportunity and Equity Committee shall come to order. Not in receipt at the moment of any letters of replacement. Clerk, please call the roll.
Gazzardi.
Here.
Ammons. Miller. Avlar. Chung. Davids-Meyer. Davis. Deering. Smith.
There are 7 members present. We have a quorum established. We'll stand at ease as we await the sponsors of our legislation for today. House Bills 5263, 5264, both from Leader Lisa Hernandez, and House Bill 4592 from Rita Mayfield, who has just joined us. Take all the time you need to get settled, Representative, and you may begin at your pleasure. The chair recognizes Representative Mayfield. Well, before we do that, of course, we'll have a little bit of housekeeping. On House Committee Amendments 1 and 2 to House Bill 4592, Representative Chung moves that the committee do adopt House Committee Amendment 1 and 2. All those in favor vote aye. All those opposed vote nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. So with that, we will have Representative Mayfield on House Bill 4592 as amended. Please proceed at your pleasure, Representative.
Thank you so much, Chair, and to the members of the committee. This is a very straightforward bill. It came from a constituent who was shopping late one night, and there were no registers open that accepted cash. This individual does not have a bank account. They do not carry debit or credit cards. They only had cash. So I reached out. I filed the bill, had many conversations with Alec here from IRMA, who was just absolutely wonderful, working with me on the amendment to clarify the language and to make it something that everybody across the state can pretty much live with. It just basically says that if you have a retail establishment, you have to have at least one register. One register. I'm not asking for the entire store. I'm not even asking that you hire somebody to man that register. It can be one of those kiosks, but at least one register has to accept cash. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Alec for testimony and questions as well.
Thank you. Before we proceed, we'll read the witness slips into the record. On Committee Amendment 1, we have, let's just read Committee Amendment 2 since that's our latest draft. House Committee Amendment 2, we have 0 proponents, 3 opponents, Gordy Halton from the Municipal League, and Greg Summers and Larry Herman from the Village of Oak Brook. And two parties with no position, Alec Laird from the Retail Merchants Association and Nate Harris from the Illinois Fuel and Retail Association. Mr. Laird, if you'd like to present some remarks before the committee, we'd be happy to have you.
Sure. Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Alec Laird. I'm with the Illinois Retail Merchants Association. Oh, sorry,
It's on.
a little bit closer.
Yeah,
Sorry
we're
about that. Right into it. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Yes, I want to thank Representative Mayfield for bringing this legislation for a number of different reasons. It really applies to critical retail, fuel, pharmacy, food. Right. We want to make sure that every individual and constituent has the ability to obviously purchase the critical retail, and we also want to make sure that we continue to accept cash. Listen, retailers love cash, right? So I don't think despite how the marketplace evolves, cash will always be king, and we want to make sure that is kept in place. We did put some parameters around it, right, for safety of some retailers. For instance, it doesn't apply between the times of 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., 6 a.m. It doesn't require a retailer to accept cash over purchase price over $500, right? It doesn't require a retailer to accept anything over $20 bill increments, right? It provides a great parameters for what we can operate in. And also, obviously, it exempts like online purchases and common sense things like that. But we encourage our consumers to use cash, but we also want to do it in a safe manner for both the consumer and the retailer. And we are ecstatic that she was able to work with us. We did move it from the Consumer Protection Act and into its own act because the Consumer Protection Act has a private right of action, and the Attorney General's office asked us to move it into a separate act. The Attorney General's office was also kind enough to allow us a cure period. So, for instance, if a mom and pop accidentally runs afoul of this, there's a cure period where they can say, "Hey, we're going to fix this," rather than there being subject to violations. And also, you'll notice the violations are stepped violations rather than a straight high violation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, but I want to thank the representative in the committee for indulging me.
Thank you. For questions, let's begin with Spokesperson Miller and then Representative Chung.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You did have do you know if there will be any fiscal impact to this
For retailers or for the state?
for the retailers?
I think it would be a positive impact
Okay.
For retailers in accepting cash. Yes, for a number of different reasons.
There was a few opponents. Do you know why they were opposed?
Yes, sir. It's a great question. So I can't speak on the behalf of the municipal league, but they always oppose any legislation that has preemption in it, and this preempts local home rule municipalities from doing anything different than the state. And we did that for a number of reasons. We didn't want a local home rule saying, "Hey, we're going the other direction," right? And also, we wanted a uniform standard across the state. So they always, just a philosophical point of always opposing anything home rule.
Are they able to take checks also along with cash?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. There's nothing impacts the ability to accept checks.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And one other question is that I'm down in my area. They have some gas stations that don't have anybody there, and you just pay with. Are they going to be required to?
No, you're fine. This won't impact fuel pumps, and it won't impact facilities where there's no one hired to take cash.
Okay.
So, for instance, there are a gas station in some municipalities. Well, there's no one there at the facility after a certain amount, after a time, like whatever the time might be, and so yeah, it will not require them to do that.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's all my questions.
Thank you. Any further questions from the committee? Seeing no further debate, Representative Smith moves that House Bill 4592 do pass as amended. Is there a leave? Leave being granted on a vote of 7 votes in favor, 0 votes opposed, and 0 voting present. House Bill 4592 as amended is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
And I
Representative
really have to
Mayfield.
thank Alec at Irma. I mean, he was just absolutely wonderful to work with, so I just have to put that out there.
Thank you, committee.
Let the record reflect that the committee feels warmly toward Alec. There was a smattering of polite applause. Up next, we'll have Leader Lisa Hernandez. Leader Hernandez, we have two measures from you today, 5263 and 64. Which one would you like to begin with, Leader?
Let's start with what I have in front of me, 64?
5264, there you go. Okay, the chair recognizes Leader Hernandez on House Bill 5264. Before you proceed, Leader, let me just read the witness slips into the record. On this measure, we have two proponents. Our friend and former colleague, Antonio Munoz, who's here representing the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and Jamie DiPaolo, also from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. No opponents and no witness slips indicating no position. Leader Hernandez, please take it away.
Okay, thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. So I do want to make sure that I express here that this bill came to me from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. The bill creates a targeted loan program to support small businesses facing sudden economic disruption due to external federal actions. In many communities, these disruptions have led to reduced foot traffic, workforce instability, and declining revenue, putting otherwise stable small business at risk. The bill provides low-interest, short-term loans for small businesses. These funds can be used for essential operating expenses like rent, payroll, and inventory to help businesses stay open and retain workers. The program is limited to small businesses with 50 or fewer employees and is only activated when there is clear documented impact. The bill allows DCO to partner with the community lenders to ensure efficient delivery and is structured to maintain long-term sustainability. We are working closely with DCO on an amendment to ensure the program is fully implementable and aligned with their existing capacity. This is a practical, responsible approach to help stabilize small businesses and local economies during periods of disruption. So with me, I do have testifying from the chamber, and I'll have him introduce himself.
Great. Please go ahead, state your name and the organization you're representing, and begin with your testimony.
Thank you, Chair Gazzardi and members of the committee for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Andre Solarte, and I serve as the Director of Government Affairs and Community Relations for the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the IHCC, I would like to thank Leader Hernandez for her steadfast commitment to supporting small businesses across our state. Small businesses are the backbone of the Illinois economy and vital pillars of our communities. Yet, over the past year, they have faced significant economic challenges, rising costs driven by tariffs, ongoing supply chain disruptions, workforce retention issues, and declining consumer confidence. Last summer, these challenges were further compounded when commercial corridors across the state experienced sharp declines in foot traffic and shifting consumer behavior due to federal enforcement activity. The resulting economic disruption extended far beyond those immediate communities and reverberated throughout the broader supply chain. Retailers and restaurants canceled orders from long-standing vendors, businesses reduced operating hours due to staffing shortages, and community events, which are critical drivers of local economic activity and tax revenue, were canceled. Throughout this period, the IHCC has continued working closely with small businesses to help them stabilize and position themselves for growth. However, many businesses require additional support to effectively navigate those ongoing economic pressures. For these reasons, the IHCC stands in strong support of HB 5263 and HB 5264, which would provide a critical lifeline to small businesses through access to low-interest capital. Thank you again for your time, consideration, and service.
Thank you.
So, Chairman, what I'm asking is if we can hold this, if I can have a vote on this, a positive vote, and we will hold it on second because I am waiting on an amendment
Great.
from DCEO.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, Leader. Any questions on this matter? We have spokesperson Miller and then Representative Deering.
Yeah, that was my question. If you hold on seconds and then bring it back, and that's part of the agreement. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, with a commitment to bring the bill back to the committee with an amendment. Representative Deering.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate that you will bring it back on committee, but I'd like to ask the questions that you might also consider in your amendment. So a couple things. One, it notes that the governor can make a determination, and in this case, the language says declares that an economic emergency exists. If I think back to COVID, the governor continually declared an emergency. So is there any language in here that might regulate the governor's ability to declare such an emergency?
We can work on that as well.
Okay. You noted that there can be, you anticipate, maybe through the chamber, ongoing economic hardship. Is there an end date to this loan program?
Can I answer that? So the idea behind this is that small businesses have experienced, whether it's COVID or the most recent activities that have occurred that's caused business disruption. So we just don't know what can come next. So it's just being ready. It's in case there is an emergency. That's basically how we're approaching this. If
But
you
your
have-
bill language specifically says negatively impacted by federal immigration enforcement. So this doesn't even address COVID, and it doesn't address what might happen next.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's my concern with if there is an end date.
Okay.
So the economic disruptions right now were caused due to federal immigration enforcement. However, the business community is also experiencing hardships due to the tariffs, due to different federal actions and supply chain disruptions. So this is simply providing the state the tools to be able to respond to future economic hardships. HB 563, which is the commission, is broader, and it outlines a commission designed to address any economic hardship moving forward.
That's the next bill.
Yeah, we'll discuss that
So
in
you
short
don't
order.
suspect like 2028 might be an end date? Because it appears the language is directed at the current administration.
It may sound that way, but that's what's currently happening to raise the attention on this. But as Andres has mentioned, it is anything that might come in the future. We're prepared.
So would the loans be retroactive?
Currently, I believe the loans they can be termed up to 5 years, no payments the first 6 months. So they would only kick into place when the governor declares economic emergency.
So you can't help people who had their windows smashed by ICE agents already?
No, I believe under the current draft, it would be up to the discretion of the governor to declare like a future economic emergency. And that's when the loan program would kick in.
Okay, and you did say you'll hold it for an amendment, so certainly DCEO is going to be
Yes,
an important factor here. And I'd be curious about chamber, retail merchants. I mean, obviously they are supporters of these small businesses, so would have a say in the bill. I'm going to be a no, just for now, and we'll see about the amendment. But thank
Okay.
you for answering my questions.
Is there any further questions from members? Seeing none, there being no further debate, Representative Smith moves that House Bill 5264 do pass. Is there a leave? Partisan leave being granted. 5 votes in favor, 2 votes opposed, and 0 voting present. House Bill 5264 is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor. We'll look forward to that amendment. And don't go anywhere, Leader Hernandez. We're going to proceed to House Bill 5263. I'll pull up the witness slips. If you want to begin by presenting the bill, I'll get those witness slips together.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So House Bill 5263 creates a commission to bring together key stakeholders, state agency, local government, businesses, and financial institutions to better prepare for future economic disruptions. The goal is simple: improve coordination, planning, and readiness so we can respond more quickly and effectively when local economies are impacted by external federal actions. This commission will study best practices, identify gaps, and deliver recommendations to ensure resources can reach affected businesses faster and more efficiently. Ultimately, this is about being proactive, bringing the right people to the table now so we are better prepared for the future.
Thanks. Before we proceed to questions from the committee, I'll read the witness slips into the record. This will sound familiar. We have two proponents, Antonio Munoz from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Jamie DiPaolo from the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. No witnesses slipping in opposition and no one with no position.
And I also have a request here that if we could hold it on second, I do have I'm working with DCEO as well to bring an amendment.
Okay, we'll plan on holding this one on second reading as well. Committee members, any questions? Spokesperson Miller, please proceed.
Thank you very much. I just had a couple of questions. Who is this change suggested by?
I'm sorry?
Who is this suggested by?
The chamber, the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is the one who brought this language
Okay.
to me.
You know what will there be a fiscal impact to this?
Subject to appropriation. So
Okay.
that's why I'm working with DCEO to add that piece to
Okay.
it.
Another thing is you mentioned something about this is so to prevent compliance with federal action, something like that. But could you explain that a little bit?
So again, based on what has currently been happening with actions that have taken place that have affected small businesses currently, that is the drive to put this commission together, but not necessarily and solely to, just federal actions, but it could be something like what happened with COVID. So it's just anticipating and being prepared and ready so small businesses can survive.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Further discussion. Representative Deering, please proceed.
Can you list members that will be required to participate in your commission? Agencies or bodies?
Do you want to?
Yeah, so the commission composition will be appointed by the governor, including state agency representatives from economic development, workforce, revenue, local government representatives from the municipal level and county, business community representatives like chambers of commerce, a financial sector representative, and then a policy expertise representative.
Okay, and will commissioners be paid?
No.
Okay. You mentioned that this has arisen from current federal action. I just was thinking about during the last bill, we had a number of small businesses that were destroyed or faced economic hardship during the Black Lives Matter riots, et cetera. That was under a Democratic president as well. So in thinking about there not being an end date, we obviously can all recognize that economic hardships can come under any federal administration. Yes?
Yes, that's true.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Seeing no further debate, Representative Smith moves that House Bill 5263 do pass. Is there? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Before we do that, clerk, please add Representative Davidsmeyer to the roll. Got to get that vote in. Is there leave, Mr. Spokesperson?
Partisan.
Partisan leave being granted. There being 5 votes in favor, 3 opposed, and 3 voting present. House Bill 5263 is declared passed and will be favorably reported to the House floor. There being no further business before the House Economic Opportunity and Equity Committee, we will stand at recess to the call of the chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. The hour of 4 p.m. having come and long gone, the House Appropriations, Public Safety, and Infrastructure Committee shall come to order. We don't have any replacement letters. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mayfield,
I am here.
Hernandez, Cabello, Bunting, Canty, Davis, Deuter, Harper, Lilly, Morris, Tipsworth, Weaver. We have 4 members present.
We have 4 members present. 7 is a quorum. Thankfully, we don't need a quorum today because we are only doing subject matter. So today we will have the State Police Merit Board, the Law Enforcement Training Standards Board, the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, and then we will have a conversation on ALPR funding, House Bill 5727. And we will just jump right into it with the State Police Merit Board. We have Emily Fox, Executive Director, Danielle, I can't even pronounce that, I won't even try, Legal Counsel. There we go. So just introduce yourself and feel free to begin.
Okay. Good afternoon. I am Emily Fox, Executive Director of the Illinois State Police Merit Board. Joining me today is the board's Chief Legal Counsel, Daniel Dykstra. For more than 75 years, the Illinois State Police Merit Board has exercised jurisdiction over the certification of appointments and promotions for state police troopers, as well as disciplinary matters, including suspension, demotion, and termination when appropriate. The board was established to operate independently, free from the direction, control, or influence of any other agency to ensure a fair and equitable hiring, promotional, and disciplinary process. The Merit Board is composed of 7 members appointed by the governor with the advice and consent of the Senate to serve 4-year terms. Members are limited to 2 terms, and no more than 4 members may be affiliated with the same political party. Throughout calendar year 2025, the Merit Board processed 5 cadet classes. Across those classes, we invited more than 4,000 applicants to participate in physical fitness testing, administered over 900 recruitment exams, initiated more than 600 background investigations, and conducted over 400 applicant interviews. From this process, the board certified just over 300 applicants as eligible for hire by the Illinois State Police, which also resulted in the graduation of the largest cadet class from the Illinois State Police Academy in 25 years. The board continues to work closely with the Illinois State Police Recruitment Section to support ongoing recruitment efforts. We provide data and communication support to help maintain applicant engagement throughout the hiring process and to track recruitment outcomes. Since 2022, the board has allowed candidates to complete the initial stages of testing at no cost, which has contributed to steady growth in both the number of applicants and the diversity of the applicant pool. I'm here today seeking spending authority of $1.4329 million from the Merit Board's Public Safety Fund to support the agency's statutory operations. This represents no increase from last year's request, and the board's operating budget has remained unchanged since 2017. In addition, I'm requesting $1 million in spending authority from the same fund to assist the Illinois State Police with cadet class-related expenses. This is a reduction from last year's request, reflecting the current balance of the board's public safety fund and allowing time for the fund to rebuild, as it is supported by fees and fines collected by circuit clerks statewide. The Merit Board does not require general revenue fund support and is seeking spending authority solely from our statutory fund. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today, and I'm happy to answer any questions from the committee.
Thank you so much. Please add Rep. Deuter to the roll. Just want to jump right into your budget. You basically have a 50.7% decrease. Can you explain this decrease? And just know I appreciate the decrease, but if you can just explain it for the record.
Yeah, so the decrease is just for the cadet line, any cadet class related expenses. It's not our operating budget. That just comes from the line that we would request. We work with Gombe and the state police to see what their needs are going to be. And based on the fund amount that's currently in our public safety fund, since it is lower, we've drawn from it the last few years, a lot, 3.5 this current fiscal year and the year before. So we're going to ask for less, and state police is prepared to offset that amount.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I appreciate that. Yeah, state police have no problem asking for money. Okay. So I looked at your audit findings. You're doing better. They are getting better. You actually had a few less this time around than others. So I guess I'll give you a pass on that because it does look like you're making progress. So I'll be nice.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
that. We
Keep
are
making
trying
progress.
very hard.
Yeah,
We
just
will.
please keep making progress with those. So in your personnel lines, you have 8 employees. You only have 3 that are employed, and you. So what are we doing with those other 5 vacancies? Is there a plan in place?
We have been working with CMS. They have a small agency hiring team. I think it's Smart Team is what they refer to it as, who they've been helping us revise some of the job descriptions. We're planning on trying to get 3 of those positions posted, hopefully within the next few weeks, months, to fill those positions as soon as we can.
Okay, and I appreciate that. And Daniel, can you please tell me your last name? I don't want to butcher it on
Yes, ma'am, Dykstra.
Dykstra. I can say that. Thank you. Okay, so you are the EEO officer, correct? Affirmative
Yes.
action?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so currently, everybody's white. What is your plan to hire at least one minority?
So working with the SMART team, we will obviously go through the CMS hiring process, and hopefully that outcome will help deliver us diverse candidates and give us the opportunity to achieve that goal.
Are you going to rely on CMS to help you with that?
The CMS Small Agency Resource Team is helping us with the posting, the hiring process as the state has transitioned to the new hiring software platform. We're not as familiar with it, so they will be assisting us in that process, yes.
Okay, what are the requirements for the position?
I believe one of them is a college degree or equivalent, and then the other one, 2 of them are college degree or equivalent. One of them is high school education, I believe.
Okay, are you reaching out to any of the colleges, junior colleges, the places that may have minorities to say, hey, these positions are open? Not that I don't trust CMS, but, CMS has not always been the best for hiring, so.
Yes, ma'am. So we're at the early stages of it, but certainly that is something that we will make an effort to do that and
Okay,
do our
as
best
the
to.
affirmative action officer,
Yes, ma'am.
kind of want to push that a little bit. Okay, your cadet classes, do you have any racial data on that?
Yes, I can provide you a breakdown for each class for the last however many years you'd like. I can send that to you
Last
directly.
3 would be nice.
Three classes? Yes, ma'am.
Definitely, that would be nice. Appreciate it. Okay, your travel line, you've got a $10,000 increase in travel. There's only 3 of you. Where are you going?
So we have, our board was previously only 3 or 4 members. It has increased to 6 now, and they used to all really be in Chicago. All of our board meetings will be in Chicago. Now they are located in outside Rockford, down in Carbondale, down in Edwardsville. So they are traveling more, so there is an increase in board member travel that is reimbursed. They also tend to have mileage, whereas merit board employees, when we travel, use state vehicles. So that's a lower cost generally in terms of travel reimbursements. So that is part of the reason for that increase.
Okay, is the requirement that the meetings be in person? They can't be virtual?
That is correct. Under the Open Meetings Act, they need to be in person.
Okay, just verifying. All right, and then next, there's a $55,000 increase in group insurance. Can somebody explain that?
So the increased formula on the ISL is the current expenditure versus the requested amount. The requested amount is assuming increased staffing, so we would have increased cost amounts related to insurance if we increase the staff.
Okay, shouldn't that be prorated since positions are vacant and you don't know when they're going to be filled? So you're basically asking for money that you may not spend.
That is correct. The request is based on the staffing that we anticipate happening by the end of the fiscal year.
You take them out between now and the end of June of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're relying on CMS to help you do that.
That is correct, yes.
How long you been here?
long enough to understand your questions.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions I have. Any other members having questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much. I appreciate the decrease in your budget lines, and keep working on those audit findings. Thank you.
We will. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, next up, we have the Law Enforcement Training Standards Board. Okay. Okay, perfect. Please state your name for the record and proceed.
There we go. Thank you, Chair Mayfield and members of the committee. My name is Keith Calloway. I'm Executive Director of the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. FY26 has been a period of significant growth and expansion here at Gillespie. We have moved beyond the initial implementation of the Safety Act into a phase of operational optimization and fiscal modernization. It is important to emphasize that Gillespie does not rely on any new general reserve funds. Our operations and grant programs are fully supported by other state funds, ensuring that we remain a self-sustaining resource for Illinois' public safety infrastructure. For the first time in years, the board is now fully appointed. Our membership represents the most diverse group of stakeholders.
I'm sorry, is your microphone on? Maybe bring it a little closer and speak into it.
Can you hear me now, ma'am? All right, thank you. For the first time in years, the board is now fully appointed. Our membership represents the most diverse group of stakeholders in our history, helping ensure that we advance law enforcement professionalism in a way that reflects the demographics and values of the entire state. I am proud to report that this week, our fiscal section is finalizing the largest camera grant distribution in board history. We are awarding approximately $20 million of grants to over 100 agencies across the Illinois, representing a historic level of direct financial support for law enforcement, particularly for body-worn cameras. Alongside this fiscal progress, as I continue to focus on professional accountability, under Safety Act, our discretionary certification and investigative processes have now transitioned to the administrative hearing phase. Evidentiary hearings for disputed allegations began last month, providing a transparent, fair, and thorough oversight mechanism. The board has also transformed how we deliver training to Illinois' 37,000 officers. In-service training continues to expand as we add courses to meet evolving mandates. We are intentionally balancing online accessibility with high-intensity, scenario-based, hands-on training. This approach ensures officers are not simply checking the box for compliance, but gaining the tactical and de-escalation skills required for modern policing. This commitment to excellence is reflected in our strong partnerships across the state, including our collaboration with the Illinois Justice Project, who has helped implement key safety act components, as well as with law enforcement agencies and community-based stakeholders. Our outreach to leadership is at an all-time high. The new Chiefs of Police orientation have evolved into a premier leadership program, and the Southern Illinois Criminal Justice Summit in Effingham continues to draw record attendance. We are also strengthening collaboration across Illinois law enforcement. Gillespie is now a consistent presence at the ILEAS, Illinois Chiefs, Illinois Sheriff's Conferences. While we do not directly fund ILEAS, we maintain a strong partnership by providing presentations and certification support. Through this engagement, we ensure that every department, regardless of size or location, has direct access to the board and the resources it provides. In January, we launched our first round of certification verification. With only days remaining, more than 90% of officers have already submitted their forms. We work closely with agencies statewide to ensure a smooth and effective rollout. Our crisis intervention team training remains our flagship program. Due to record demand, we are expanding our symposiums to an annual format. Illinois continues to be recognized as a national leader in statewide coordination through CIT International. Our crisis response therapy canine program has evolved from a pilot initiative into a statewide standard. On April 22nd, we will celebrate the first graduating class of our certified therapy teams. On April 28th, we will travel to Chatham to mark the one-year anniversary of the Why Not tragedy, where these teams will again provide support to the community. Our crisis response canines are available and ready to support residents statewide wherever they are needed. Thank you for the opportunity to highlight our accomplishments over the past year, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Please add Leader Lilly and Leader Hernandez to the roll. And I do have some questions. So your introduced budget was for $26 million less. The governor's introduced budget was $13 million less. So which one are we going with? Your budget of the $26 million that you requested, or the $13 million that the governor requested?
I'm going to defer to our CFO, Courtney Bott.
Because I like the $26 million less.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name's Courtney Bott, Chief Fiscal Officer. So our budget is based on our estimated expenditures, which we anticipate spending. Our target was 27 million of camera grants. We received 38 million for applications, so our target is 27. We've approved over 20 so far. We're still going through all the applications, so hopefully we are more towards our request than Gombe's request, because they took what we had spent as of December 31st and plugged in that number for the camera grants, which we hadn't paid anything out yet this year. So our numbers reflect what we anticipate paying out.
Okay, is that why your camera grant line decreased 46%?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 'cause I definitely was questioning that line.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, I always start with audit findings, and you have 10 repeated audit findings, no improvement. What are we doing with our audit?
So with our audit, actually, we improved quite a bit from a previous audit. This was 2 years ago, and a lot of audit findings in this cycle were due to lack of staff personnel and also build-out processes. We also have a brand-new CFO, and we're also hiring a new accountability officer, whose chief job will be to make sure we have no more or very few audit findings in the future.
Okay, and I'll acknowledge you went from 12 to 10. It's a slight decrease, but you still had 10 of the exact same repeated audit findings. So.
Hopeful, Madam Chair, that the new personnel on board, this would be not be affected 2 years from now.
Okay, I'm hopeful too. I'm going to keep hope alive in here. Okay, how often are training programs reviewed and updated?
They're reviewed and updated on a constant basis. We look at different training, as far as the laws evolve, as far as training evolves, best practices. That's a constant, consistent basis with updating our curriculum.
Okay, all right. I want to ask. You've got a lot of issues going on with complaints. How does the board address civilian complaints against law enforcement when making decisions?
I'm going to ask my certification manager come up, Chief Counsel.
Certification manager, come on up.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's why you bring your team with you. Make
We
them
can
earn
go-
that check
We
today.
can go through the whole process.
Please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Hahn. I'm the Chief Certification Counsel for the board.
Okay. So can you explain, what was my question? How do you address civilian complaints against law enforcement when you're making decisions?
So that is a process that all complaints come in. We've developed a database on our public-facing site that citizens can file and residents can file complaints against police officers. Every complaint that comes in goes through a review process, what we call a preliminary review. Sometimes we refer those complaints back to the employing agency to conduct data gathering for us. Once that data is gathered, we'll take a look at it. We'll make a decision on whether it needs to have further investigation or we can close it out at that time. Or if we believe that there would be some sort of conflict or would jeopardize the investigation, we will conduct that preliminary review data collection with our own in-house investigators. But the process is the same. We'll take a look at it and conduct our preliminary review. If we feel like there's enough evidence there to support further investigation, we'll move that case on. Otherwise, we'll close it out at that time.
Okay, and what's the process when you move it on?
So then we would assign it to either our own investigators or outside investigators, but it'd be basically typically like a criminal case where you start investigating or interviewing witnesses. If there's any additional information, data that we need to have, we will collect it at that time. Information we can subpoena if we need to. And so it's very much like I said, an investigation of any criminal case.
Okay, do you have any data to support how many cases were founded versus unfounded?
We can provide that for you. I can tell you when the Safety Act was passed and went into effect in July of 2022, I believe we had less than 100 complaints for that 6-month period. It has grown exponentially since then. Last year we had almost 500 allegations that were received. We have, and out of those, as well as other information we gather, then we eventually will file formal complaints for decertification. We have several of those currently pending and in the process of being heard.
Do you have any, can you speak to how they're trending? What is the major complaints, your top 3?
If I had to categorize them, I would say some are complaints from citizens who are just unhappy with the way they received a ticket or were treated. A large percentage of those, we simply do not have enough evidence that we can meet our burden of proof of clear and convincing evidence and get closed out. There's a significant number filed by police officers against other police officers for a variety of reasons. And I would say that's probably the 2 biggest groups. And then you have all kinds of other just ones that are not easily categorized.
So I can complain if I get a ticket?
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know that. I got a ticket once. I tried to drop a tear. It didn't work. I could have complained.
Residents seem to be finding out because our numbers are going up every year. So yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
And we treat every allegation the same. They all go through the same process because until we look at it, we don't know which ones have merit and which ones don't.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you for that explanation. That was very helpful. All right, going back to the budget, can you explain? There is a 61.3 increase in your grants to local law enforcement line. What is that for?
So are you speaking out of the 743 fund, those 2 lines?
I believe so.
Okay. So those lines fund our mobile training units. I don't know if you want someone else to come up and explain everything that they do, but basically the budget pays for classes to be put on for local law enforcement officers. We have mobile training units around the state that put those on, so we pay for those classes to be put on. We also pay for officers to go through basic training and correctional officers to go through basic training, so that's what those are all reimbursements for. So, for example, City of Springfield put someone through basic training. Those dollars are paid back to them to pay back the tuition for that person to attend basic training.
Okay, because you actually have 2 lines, a 61.3%, and then there's a 23.3%.
Yep,
So there's
so-
2 lines that are being increased for the same
Yes.
thing, basically.
So yes, the top local law enforcement agencies for training expenses, that's for basic training for correctional and law enforcement officers. And then the in-service training is for the mobile training because those are already certified officers getting
Gotcha.
training.
Okay.
And if I can jump in.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
same training, a lot of it's been mandated via the Safety Act. So we knew that it will be an increase in training dollars, and our budget has been able to support that going forward so far.
We're not complaining about training. We just wanted some clarification on the record.
Yes, ma'am.
How the money's being spent.
A lot of that to meet the mandates that are required. This is the first cycle that just passed in January, so that was all mandated training.
Okay. And your contractual line went up 43.3%. What is that for?
Yes, so some of that is moving from our Fund 879. The previous fiscal shop, people were paying for contractual services out of some of those training lines. because there was cash there in 879 versus 743, but the cash flow has decreased in Fund 879. And to right size where we pay those, they're actually contractual services. A lot of them are FedEx charges. We mail out certifications for people. So just kind of putting those expenditures in the proper category in our budget and also paying for it out of a fund that has better cash flow.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say it has better cash flow if you're asking for more, but I get you.
Cash available.
There you go. And your travel went up as well?
Yes, so we increased travel kind of to go along with our increased headcount. A lot of our new staff are training and traveling and attending conferences to learn more about their jobs and such. So we increased that to cover those expenditures.
Okay. Can we talk about your equipment line? 48.1%.
Yep, so equipment we have in our planned headcount. And if you want to speak to any of this, the police training, we're adding some police training specialists. And with that, all those people get assigned vehicles. They travel around the state to do the investigations. So we'll have to purchase 8 vehicles for those people.
You're purchasing 8 vehicles?
Yes. Once those people are hired, yeah.
Oh, what kind of cars are we getting?
Whatever's on the CMS master.
Oh, Lord, back to CMS. We're in trouble. Okay. All right. Okay, telecommunications. I had another question. I think you may have answered it already. Yep, nope, you answered it. Okay. Any other members seeking recognition? Any other members with questions? None? Really? Then we're all right. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate you answering all of my questions. We'll see you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. All righty. Next, we have the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority. Ms. Deltrice and team, when you're ready, please state your name for the record. Make sure the mic is on. I think we maybe those mics are low, so please just speak into them.
Sure.
Please
Good
add Leader
afternoon.
Harper to the roll.
Good evening, Chair Mayfield, Vice Chair Hernandez, Minority Spokesperson Gabello, and committee members. I am Delreese Adams, the Executive Director of the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority. With me are ICJA's Chief Financial Officer, Hamad Modai, and General Counsel, Falana King. It is a pleasure to be with you today. ICJA is the state's administering agency for violence prevention and victim services funding. We are nationally recognized for our work to further justice reform while supporting survivors of violent crime. ICJA's fiscal year 27 appropriation of $497.1 million includes a reduction of $3.2 million in the General Revenue Fund compared to fiscal year 26 appropriation. Driving the decline was a $13.8 million reduction in our co-responder pilot and Fund for Illinois future appropriations. While federal cuts have not yet affected ICJA in any reduction to funding, news of possible federal funding interruptions is concerning. Currently, 30% or $64 million of federal aid makes up ICJA's portfolio. In fiscal year 26, ICJA launched 21 public safety and victim service funding opportunities and invested in approximately 900 grantees, distributing nearly $195 million. Sourced nationally, ICJA data helps policymakers and practitioners advance promising practices. In fiscal year 26, our 6 research centers published 50 research reports and evaluations and 22 articles and made presentations on deflection, diversion, reentry, and violence prevention. Our victim data portal assisted domestic violence agencies in providing over 621,000 direct service hours to more than 52,000 survivors. ICEJA is a partner in the Government Alliance for Safe Communities, a multi-governmental collaboration that has made significant investments in evidence-based gun violence intervention and capacity building. Capacity building and technical assistance remains a need towards equitable grant making, and ICEJA's fiscal year 27 budget requested $4 million for its Institute to Innovate to continue working with grassroots organizations. As Illinois moves toward community corrections and sustainability, ICEJA's violence prevention initiatives serve as an exemplary model. In its 5th year, the Restore, Reinvest, and Renew, R3 program, supports communities harmed by violence, excessive incarceration, and economic disinvestment. Lawmakers purposefully crafted R3 legislation to advance resource equity that heals traumatized families and rebuilds decimated communities. Since its inception, R3 has been changing the community's trajectory. R3 has committed $330 million to approximately 500 community organizations. Impact defines success. The leading indicators of R3 are positive. Our cohort 1, which started in 2019, process evaluation identified 137,000 clients served and approximately 360 jobs created statewide. With federal cuts to violence prevention programming for CBOs, the state's investments are critical. More than 780 organizations responded to R3's 4th release for a $50 million grant opportunity this year. That is a 36% increase over last year and an 86% increase since inception. We know that investing in community-centered solutions have proven impactful. 2025 data shows Chicago homicides down 31.5% and roughly 10% statewide compared to 2024. Our goal is to replace generational trauma with sustained resources that build safer, more resilient neighborhoods. I recently heard a mother who lost a child say there are too many empty beds. This was in reference to homicides, suicides, and accidental shootings being the #1 leading cause of death of youth ages 1 to 18. Black male teens are 24 times more likely to die by gun homicide than their counterparts. Suicide is the leading cause of death for Asian American teens. ICEJA's work is critical to strengthening our public safety infrastructure, and investing in community builds a safer Illinois. Thank you for your time. My staff and I will address any questions.
I appreciate that. Please add Leader Cabela to the roll. I got a lot of questions. Okay. So let's start where I always start. You have a very large number of audit findings. Do you want to speak to them?
Yes. So we have 18 audit findings in our 2023 report. We have 11 repeat findings and 7. Most of those findings are around our site visits for grant monitoring, as well as failure to maintain supporting documentation for several of the grants that were pulled for review, and some internal controls. Of all of those, we have corrective action plans. We only have, and I'll let our CFO go into more details, but we only have 6 that are pending that we're working on adjusting. A lot of these are internal policies that when we had some staff shortages, we were not able to sort of meet our own internal policy around site visits. Now that we have increased our staffing capacity, we're making improvements on that front. And Hemant, did you want to elaborate on anything? Okay.
You pretty much covered it. I think one of the things is as we...
Please say your name for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Hemant Modi. I'm the Chief Financial Officer. Director Adams pretty much covered it. Only thing I would say is, I think as we hire, more staff, some of these some of the audit findings will get remediated by itself. It's some of the things we are not able to just because we are driving a 4-wheel car with 3 wheels.
So how many staff members are you down?
20%.
I don't know what that number is.
So our approved staff is 168. As of right now, we are about 134. And if you go back about even 6 months ago, it was 128.
Okay, and you're working with CMS to fill your positions?
We are.
That
and we
is
have
the
seen
requirement.
some improvement in the yes.
Okay. Just asking. Okay.
Okay, you've got 2 pending lawsuits. What is the financial impact of those, or potential impact of those?
Falana King, General Counsel. I mean, as far as the lawsuits, obviously we can't comment on any pending lawsuits.
No, I just want to know the dollar amount.
And right now, I can't give you an answer to that. I'm more than happy to sort of follow up with that information for.
So they didn't ask for a specific dollar amount in their lawsuit?
Not specifically. It covers. It's very broad in what they're asking for, so it's really
Okay.
hard to account for. So that's sort of why I'm giving you that answer.
And when do you see these lawsuits being remedied?
I'm not sure at this time because they are just pending. They're fairly new, so I'm not sure. It just depends on, obviously the movement of the court cases and things like that. They're being handled by the Attorney General's office.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So you're asking for a decrease in GRF, but an increase in other state funds. Federal dollars are going away for everybody. So what other state funds specifically are we taking money out of to fund your organization? Which lines?
When we are saying that we are asking a little extra or more money, we are decreasing GRF, but we are increasing more.
Right,
One
from the
line.
other state funds.
Yep. One of the state fund is the what we call is 335 fund, or I can give you exact name.
That would help.
Yep, ICJA projects funds. And it has gone up mainly because I have asked specifically a $15 million line item, a new line item. Again, it is a $0 impact to the state. It is more as an expenditure authority. The fund, will be funded by GASC council, and so it is, we already have a $5 million. We are anticipating additional $7.5 million if it all goes well in additional 4 or 5 more months. But again, we need to deposit those funds somewhere, and we need to account them for expenditure. So it is, again, strictly a pass-through $15 million line.
So the funding is coming from the county to ICJA, and so we had to create a line for it. So it looks like a $15 million increase, but as he mentioned, it's just a pass.
It's a pass-through. Okay, and thank you for explaining that. Definitely appreciate that. Okay, please add Leader Davis to the roll. All right, let's walk through your budget, because I highlighted a lot of lines. Okay, so let's start with your contractual services line that went up 132%.
The contractual, just so everybody know, it was 800 some thousand last year. This year we have gone up about 2 million, mainly because as I came on board about a little more than a year ago, but we found out that the rent was not in a contractual service line. It was 100% of the rent was going to federal.
The what, wait, I'm
Our
sorry.
rent.
Our rent.
your rent,
Lease,
your rent.
yes.
Gotcha, thank
$1.2
you.
million of rent. So that is what we have added to contractual service line.
In my other life, I'm a realtor. I could probably get you a better rental rate. I'm just saying, I know there are some properties out there that rent for a lot less. Just throwing that out there. Just joking. No, I don't want to get in trouble. But that's a lot for rent. So that you're saying that was being paid out of a different line? So
Yes,
you're just
yes. It was paid out of federal line, but again, our federal expenditures are only 30%. So we should be charging only 30% to federal trust
Gotcha.
fund rather than all 100%. But so this is more of a right size, or you can say fixing of something that was not right.
And putting it in the right
Yep,
account. Okay.
exactly.
That makes sense. Your travel line went up 345%.
Again, I would say, we make a couple of trips here. A few of us, even 7,000 that was there last year, it would not even help there. And not only that, but as a part of grant conditions, our grant specialists, their managers, they visit the grantee every so often. We have an audit team that goes out and visits them. Again, last year also we were incurring those costs. They were not just in a right line. So we are fixing it.
Okay. Commodities went up 2,240%. That's a lot of toilet paper.
Again, they have gone up, but again, we are putting in a right bucket, right? So printer papers, the pen, pencil, disposable supply, that's the only
Printing
commodity
is a
we
different
have.
line. So
Yep.
commodities is different. So
Yep.
printing went up 246%, but commodities, I mean,
Yep.
It went from $500 to 11.2.
Yep. And what I have done is I ran the report for FY24 and 25. Again, we were incurring those costs. They were just not in a right bucket. So as I learned more, so to answer your question on a printer, the printer line itself is for the printer lease. Printer papers, those are called commodity line.
Okay.
Inks, commodity line, right? So that's why those are the commodity.
Okay, but I guess my issue is I don't see any corresponding lines within the budget that have decreased to these same dollar amounts.
Yes, and they have not. And again, as we expand more and as we look at the pattern in the new year, we'll go adjust as we go forward. Because there were like a lot of stuff we're going here and there. I need to see a 1 year of spending pattern before I can go out and adjust the correct lines.
And some of those were kind of captured in our admin line under federal grants.
Yep.
And so as he mentioned, we're right-sizing them to the right line item in the budget.
Okay, all right. Let me see. Your grants to law enforcement agencies for co-responders, that went down $5 million. Why?
Yes, that was, we keep using the word right size. I guess that's what our theme is this year. That grant over a 3-year period was underspending. A lot
It's
of the
on, you got to bring it a little closer. There we go.
That grant over a 3-year period was underspending. A lot of the purchases, the large purchases, was in the first year, and so we were right-sizing it to kind of what those 4 sites are spending in true time.
Okay. Your adult redeploy and diversion went down 15,000.
Adult redeploy. Oh, adult redeploy, you're referring to 400K. Yep. There is, again, there is no infusion of new funds in there. This is what we incurred in FY25 or what we are incurring in FY26. That is not going to be refreshed, right? No new cash infusion. So that's why it just went down.
Okay. Okay, I want to look at your grant. So your state cure fund, the 324, your violence prevention grants overall decreased 35,000. You just talked about what a great program that was for addressing, violence in the community, but yet you cut that line 35%.
Can you please repeat which specific line are we talking about?
Okay, I'm looking at your state cure fund,
Yep.
324.
Yep.
Violence prevention programs decreased 1.5 million, 35%.
Yep. So state cure fund, again, there is no additional cash infusion. So what we are reducing is what has been consumed during the current year.
Okay. And can you tell me why you zeroed out all of the lines that had the community centers?
They were ARPA line items, and so they sunsetted this year.
Okay. And you didn't think you can find another line to put them in, considering that a lot of them did have good programs?
We did not have another line to put them in.
Didn't think about it, okay.
We thought about it.
Okay, we'll leave that one alone. All right, so all of these under 324 where I'm seeing these negative numbers, these are all ARPA lines that are just gone. So what remedies do we have for these entities? Are there other grants that they can apply
Yes,
for?
so we mentioned our R3 grant. We had an 86% increase, and we did increase that from 35 million to 50 million. So an additional 15 million went into those programs, and a lot of agencies applied for those. We also had community-based violence intervention program. We normally maybe average 50 to 60 applications. We had 136, and we funded 89. So we have some of our traditional programs have an increase in applications and awards.
Okay, I don't see the line item for the community-based violence prevention. I do know that you guys have that program because you've been funding it for years, but I don't see that lined out in your budget, and that just could be that we just didn't find in your ISLs. So my question is, how much is in that line item, and how often does that grant go out?
This is CBVIP. That's a $16 million line. It should be there in GR.
16. 16.
16?
Yep.
Okay.
It should be in GRF.
And now, is that something that they have to apply for like every July 1, or is it, a 3-year grant? What is that?
So we usually do a notice of funding opportunity every 3 months. We go to GATA's max.
Every 3 months?
3 years.
3 years.
Apologies. We go to GATA's max of 36 months. So yes, so they get a 36 months.
All right, and we're currently in that process right now?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Let's see. Your criminal justice information projects, I believe it's line 335. All of these got zeroed out as well. So this is distribution to funds to drug task forces, metropolitan enforcement groups, activities undertaken in support of investigation issues in criminal justice. It even looks like you zeroed out your R3 line. I'm sure that's got to be wrong. Within here, proceeds from the state police memorial scratch-off game. All of these are zeroed out. So what's going on?
No, that must be some error. No, I
Okay.
see.
They're not zero. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. They're flat funded. I'm looking in zeros in another line. Okay, never mind. We're good on those. Hold on. I had another question here. He found my CBIB line. Thank you. I didn't see it. He pointed it out to me. So going down to your Fund for Future Illinois, the 611 fund, I'm a little confused on Aclavis because they had the 7.5 and it looks like you zeroed them out and then you reappropriated the 4.8. What's going on? Because my understanding is that they were going to have an annual appropriation of the 7.5. So what's going on with Aclavis?
Yes, it's my understanding that the Futures for Illinois Fund is a General Assembly initiative. And so in the governor's budget, it is zeroed out, but any leftover funds is put in the fiscal year 27 budget, and their line item would need to be reissued by the General Assembly.
Okay, because this is the first that I'm hearing about that. So,
It's the same issue that we had last year, so in the governor's proposed budget.
well, the governor wipes out everything that is not a priority to him, but I'm talking about what's a priority for your organization.